All right, guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Uncapped Indians. We are back, and as promised, we've got Mr. Sriram Somayajula, and he's going to help us dissect how the mega auctions went. As we mentioned last time around, we were trying to make the playing 11 for all the IPL teams, but how this auction has been for a lot of teams, for all the 10 teams. In fact, that's something that we are going to cover episode by episode. And this episode is about this year's, 2024 champions, Kolkata Knight Riders. So, first of all, thank you so much for being here and doing this with us. It's a pleasure to have you. And we'll start off, with the episode, without much further ado. And it's going to be Kolkata Knight Riders. And just to give people a gist, of course, they were champions, as everyone knows, and there was quite a lot that happened even before the season started off, which was Gautam Gambhir came in, and of course the big prize that was given to Mitchell Stark, and Shreyas Iyer's captaincy, etc., all that amalgamated, to a champions title. But how did you actually see, compared to last year's and compared to this year, the auction for Kolkata Knight Riders, the team that has been, sort of built around the core, around the retentions? How do you see, KKR having done? I mean, how do you rate KKR's auction now?
Firstly, thanks, Krishna and Dwanel, for having me here. Once again, it is my pleasure and it is an honor actually to talk about these IPL teams and how they have set up. It's not easy, not everybody can actually wake up and talk about and get opportunities to talk as well in the open forum. So here we talk about the KKR, the defending champions of IPL 2024 now, right? KKR, massive history, and it's got great fan following. People love this team. If not for anything, for the man himself, Shah Rukh Khan, and the kind of support and love that he gives to the players. And I mean, it's incredible. The players want to play for this team. So look at some players like Sunil Narayan and Russells and all these players who have been part of this team for several years now. Rinku Singh, the new sensation is Ramandeep, and then Varun Chakravarti, Harshit Raman. So, I mean, the kind of support that this team gives you, um, I mean, it's incredible again from the players' point of view. So, one reason why people love this franchise is that. Yeah, but going slightly back on the timeline is how KKR has set up over the last 5 6 years, where they have not been even able to qualify at times, in different scenarios and different circumstances. Go back to the last mega auction and how they have done justice to what they have done last year, in lifting the trophy. It's phenomenal. The kind of effort that the team support staff. I mean, you can't single out one person. There could be many people around it, but a lot of people gave credit to Abhishek Nair for how this team panned out, right?
Yeah,
That goes to show how important the support team is part of any system. And that also goes to say how KKR has backed their support system in bringing back Gautam Gambhir into the side and trying to give him that kind of freedom and role where he has massive effect on every single player alongside the head coach Chandrakant Pandit. We all know his track record. Anywhere he goes, he means business. He cannot just settle for the second position. So from there, the run started for them a couple of years back to what they are today as a defending champion. It speaks for itself. I think hats off to the CEO or the organization or the management of the franchise to have put up this team like they have done over the period number of years, and most importantly the players. If not for the players, the team is nothing, right? So the
mm,
team has done a fairly good work over the last couple of years to be where they are and to lift that trophy which they were all hunting for almost 5 6 years in a row. Yeah, just to look at, if you bisect on what happened last year to what happened this year, in my opinion, these are all my opinion again. I'm not going to be getting into reasons of why and why not. But so if there's anything, please excuse me on that. But having said that, if you look at what KKR did right last year, there could have been many things not so right in somebody's perspective or somebody's view from last year as well. But my opinion, my thought process of what they did right last year to what they have this year, if you see, KKR has probably a thing or two to lift up themselves to. One thing is the kind of captain and Shreyas Iyer that they let go of for various reasons. Secondly, the kind of fast bowling unit. I think today it is predominantly a young Indian fast bowling unit in Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Arora, Umran Malik. You yes, you have Spencer Johnson. Yes, you have an Andrik Nokia, but that's overseas. You can only play, unfortunately, four overseas, of which Russell and Sunil Narayan more
Mm.
evident that they'll play in the playing 11 all the time. So you are then left with two choices of for overseas players. So for me, they probably missed the trick here by not having one experienced Indian fast bowler who could have. I'm not saying Harshit Rana won't do or Vaibhav Arora won't do or Umran Malik. All three are gems or diamonds of Indian cricket in terms of the fast bowling department. But having said that, I think I would have probably, like I said, it's my opinion that we could have had one Indian experienced fast bowler there.
Mm.
That's
They did go for. I mean, KKR did try really hard for Mohammad Shami until, of course, SRH. I mean, they went really hard for Mohammad Shami, and they went till about 9.75 crores for with against SRH. But unfortunately, they sort of missed the. I mean, of course, you can't have everyone in the team.
you can't have everybody in the team for sure. Yeah, that's the beauty of these IPL auctions, right? Because
Uh,
the dynamics are so different that you can't get what you want unless you know that you have enough budget, like year on year, like how Punjab does. They bring all the players together, they throw out all of them out of the window, and then they clear their purse, and then they again bring back to level zero and to start from the scratch. It's not going to be easy for every other franchise. So you do have some gaps for every team when I say this, but KKR's gap, as I feel, is not having an experienced Indian fast bowler there. Now, yes,
mm,
like you pointed out rightly, Mohammad Shami went. KKR went after Mohammad Shami for up to 9.75 or something, but they would have burst their purse if they had gone for Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. I think they were chasing him. Even
mm,
for I think someone like
Yeah.
Avish Khan could have gone for that price. But I think KKR coming in with 51 crores in the second, less than that for the second day. Sorry, for the 2 days auction, and I think getting into the second day they were only left with about 10, 12 crores in hand. So they could not have gone for any big buys because they spent heavily on players in the first day, thinking to retain their current group, which brings me to another point from fast bowling to retention of their main core group, right? Venkatesh Iyer. How Iyer was bought back for that price. I mean, whether he's worth or not is not the question. He is worth, which is why this KKR management has trusted him, and that includes the support team and the higher management, your ownership group, everybody has put in that faith, trust, belief, and importantly, they've given him that confidence to go and excel there out in the field, right? Somebody who was bought for a massive price over 23, 24 crore is not going to go and not show that faith back, or give back
yeah.
to the team. So, in my opinion, regardless of the price point, I mean, everybody wants to perform for their teams if given an opportunity. So, in my opinion, Ayer's spend is a bit of a surprise, but I think he has to pay the trust back to them in terms of performance.
But sir, a lot of people, in fact, mentioned, like you mentioned about Venkatesh Iyer's price. Just a small thing, and which Mr. Mysore also mentioned, was that it's all demand and supply. At the end of the day, if the player is not worth that much, then obviously we could have bought him for much lesser, because the other franchises also sort of rate Venkatesh Iyer that much high. Hence, the price went up till 23 crores. So obviously, he's within that circuit, rated pretty much high. But looking at how, let's say, a KKR 11 would actually pan out, and I want to start right from the top, which is again Sunil Narayan is somebody whom I'm sure that they are considering as an opener again, and they have about three options, if I am to see that way, which is Quinton de Kock, Rahmanullah Gurbaz, and they also have Lunit Sisodia as a wicket keeper who might not get an opportunity at least in the playing 11. But if you actually look at the backups, you have got Quinton de Kock, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Rahmanullah Gurbaz, in fact, has done pretty well, for KKR also in the previous seasons. And then they have Lunit Sisodia. So how do you see that thing panning out again?
Look at it this way. The playing 11. Let's do a simple number here, a number game, right? Your starting 11 in the auction. I know your question is slightly different. Let me start this way, to probably get a little bit more clarity. Your starting 11 could, or 12, that with that impact player role, your starting 11, 12 could be consuming your 75-80% of your purse, right? The idea was that here, I think it's very clearly evident that people like Rahman Powell, Gurbaz, Spencer Johnson, Moin Ali, Mayank Markande, Lavnit Sisodia, Anukul Roy, and Umran Malik, all these guys put together, it's less than 10 crore, right? But all the other spends, if you look at majorly the other 12 players, you gets to about, consumes about 85% of your total purse value, right? So for me, that is the kind of homework that our franchise will do. And I think KKR has probably done a fair bit of job in terms of what they have done with their playing, setting up of their playing 11 and or 12. Looking at how Quinton de Kock they have at the top, with a pairing of Sunil Narayan to open with, right? Potentially Ajinkya Rahane as a captain slash number three batsman. Venkatesh Iyer, potentially again another captaincy material, which they probably are looking at. I'm not sure about it. I'm just saying that out of my own thoughts here. For somebody like Iyer, if they have spent so much money, I think keeping his age on his side as well, I think they will give him a long run. If they have spent 23.75 crores, the next 2 years in this cycle, before the next cycle of mega auction comes, he will be retained in the same price plus a 10%, 20% hike every year. So given that numbers, I think they would probably look at him as a player for future and potentially give that confidence in him to lead the side as well. So he goes in at number 4 for me. Now, there is a bit of a debate on this in my own mind about Angkrish Raghuvanshi, who could use an opener, he was the top order batsman. And to keep him at number 4 or number 5, I don't know how it's going to work, but I think they have had different ideas maybe to have him there in this in this scheme of things. But they have got him at he goes there for me. And then there's Rinku Singh, who's retained. Again, he's the topmost pick for KKR in terms of the retention, 13 crores. Then there is Andre Russell, there is Ramandeep Singh. Then your four bowlers will, fill your playing 11 and 12. Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Arora, Andrik Nokia, and Varun Chakravarti. So Andrik Nokia slash Spencer Johnson could, be that option there. For me, this could potentially be your 12, 13 players who will start in most of your games in the league stage, right? Now, idea should be for any franchise, for what they have set up. I think they will be looking to first start winning in the first half, maximum push for winning as many games as possible, and get to the playoffs as they get closer to the completion stage of the second phase of the IPL.
Mm.
So, keeping this 11 and 11, 12 players in mind, I think KKR probably have justified their selections. Like I said, minus one or two in terms of batting positions, in terms of the price points for some foreign players as well. There could have been a lot more younger players, younger lot of, say replacements at the top. If I were to look at this, I will not have Quinton de Kock in my 11 there and have Angkrish Raghuvanshi, Sunil Narayan to open, and not have a Quinton de Kock and let go of him and have taken some youngster in the scheme of things as a backup as well, right? Rand Rickleton went for a meager base price, I think, for
Right.
Mumbai, right?
Hmm,
So
hmm.
for me, those are the names that actually I would have been very keen to have in this setup, if I were to be sitting on that table and think on their shoes.
Uh, like what we've seen with KKR's batting is that they focus a lot on power play batting, and they try to go up 50, 55, 60, and Sunil Narayan is obviously given the license to go berserk. Normally the partner would be right-handed. That is what sort of KKR does. Like they'll have right-handed batsman on one side and left-handed batsman. Of course, when you have Sunil Narayan and you have the flexibility of having Sunil Narayan in your team who can bat and bowl so well, do you think they might actually give Ramanullah Gurbaz a little bit of an edge over Quinton de Kock because only because he's right-handed and because he's played?
But that is left to the combination on that particular given day with the kind of opposition in mind. I don't think that's very subjective to talk today.
Hmm,
But yes, I think that is where the homework has been done well by the franchise, where they knew that they are taking a left-hand opener in Quinton de Kock,
yeah,
and they need a right-hand similar kind of approach of a right-hand batsman, which is a Gurbaz. Gurbaz
right,
also strikes at close to about 160
yeah,
in that
yeah,
slot in
yeah,
that position.
yeah.
Whereas Quinton de Kock is an old horse. I mean, let's give it to him. And he's a phenomenal player who's
Hmm,
had massive success at the top, even for South Africa, for any franchise that he has played. So for me, I think they have probably fared very well in their auction plans, given the budget constraints that they've had.
hmm.
But in my opinion, what I said was, if we were to consider somebody else as a foreign all-rounder or a top order batsman, I would have wanted somebody like a Glenn Phillips to come to them who could do various roles, multiple roles at the top order, who could also
Hmm.
give you effectively the same strike rate. I mean, just saying, I'm not saying that they have done wrong. My point is that that kind of role which could effectively give, I mean, Quinton de Kock gives the same, or a Ryan Rickleton, let's put like to
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
standard,
Hmm.
who could fill in that position. So that is all I'm trying to say here. Now, uh, the combinations on that playing 11 of that particular game against a particular team on that particular day, we do not
Of
know.
course, will depend. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That will
yeah.
depend on the time and time of the game, the venue, the opposition,
Hmm.
so forth. For all we know that if the games are not rained off, or it's a rain curtail game, then you will have a different playing 11 there as well. So
Yeah, yeah,
I think,
yeah.
but like
Of
I
course.
said, they have ticked all their boxes. The
Hmm.
KKR
Yeah,
has done that,
yeah.
homework pretty well in limited choices that they've had on the constraints that they
Yeah.
had. Probably, yeah.
They've also shown a lot of faith on Angrish Raghuvanshi. Also, last year I remember they had sent him quite up the order in a lot of crucial games, and I think Angrish did really well in order to absorb pressure, and also he played the strokes very very freely. So I think they sort of you know repaid the faith in him and got him for an amount of three.
I think he's a phenomenal player. I mean,
Yeah,
just see how he's been playing for Mumbai Ranji team as well, and I think it's only fair that they give him a long run and they see somebody in the likes of Abhishek Nair from Mumbai again. He's seen him very closely from close
yeah,
quarters. I think Shreyas Iyer, who's leading the side, who last year in Mumbai, also has seen him from close quarters, to have picked
mm,
him in the side, to have given him chance in the playing 11 in IPL. I mean, finding a place for yourself in the squad is one thing, and finding a place for yourself in the playing 11 is completely two different things, right?
right,
So
yeah,
you push your case up to be in the playing 11, and then you come and perform. I
mm,
think that speaks again for the player and the kind of confidence that they've instilled in him. In my opinion, I think, like you said, they have repaid the faith on. I mean, Raghuvanshi has repaid the faith on by the franchise on him. So
mm,
it's only a fair call that they again take him and keep him part of the core and to build him. Look, let's not forget a couple of years back when Shubman Gill was released. I mean, all of them sort
Yeah,
of felt bad about it for the trade that they
yeah,
went with
yeah,
Gujarat. So, I mean, like any other fan, I would have also felt that, okay, they probably have missed a trick here. Why did they even
mm,
do this?
mm,
So, they want to have somebody who grows along with the franchise, and
right,
that breed is part of that, that mold is with them. So, that is how
yeah,
I think they will be looking at Angrish as well, and I think
yeah,
he's had a massive success as well in the recent past.
yeah.
So for him to sort of justify his role there and to be part of this team, I think is a no-brainer.
Mm,
So you spoke about obviously the playing 11, and obviously after Venkatesh Iyer then comes in Rinku Singh and Andre Russells, and we have all the likes. Recently we saw bizarre scores, being chased down even at Eden. Let's say for example that game against Punjab, the world record, I mean the IPL record of 262. What do you think is the expectation now of franchises, especially let's say KKR? Like we saw even 100 being scored even before the power play was over, last season. What do you think is going to be probably a good score at the Eden? What is the expectation going to be like, for somebody like Sunil Narayan or Rahmanullah Gurbaz or Quinton de Kock, whosoever opens up, with Sunil Narayan? To give them a particular score at a power play, what is the new normal now? Because when T20 obviously started, there were scores of 40, 45-ish, which is okay. Let's say in the first 6 overs, and then that score now has suddenly moved up to, let's say, a 50 to 60s now. Anything below 60 is considered to be below par. So what do you think is going to be the strategy in terms of their batting order now, and how do you see that panning out?
But that's not going to happen every year. Yes, last year that was I think SRH head and
mm,
Abhishek,
yeah, sure.
where they look, it's not going to happen every year. We do not know what happened last year, how things happened. All of a sudden we saw all the top order team of all the teams were started scoring at almost 10 and over, right? Almost 10 and over, if not more. That even DC had that. I think Jake Fraser McGurk at stages, where he scored that 100 or something in the power play for the team. He personally scored about 55, 60 or something in the power play, which was again, there's no way anybody could do that in the past years. So for me, that itself, was mind blowing stat to look at how you compare for 15, 16 years of IPL to what happened last year. And what is that a team wants, the players to do at the top. So if they were to set up thinking that I want 60 runs and over, 60 runs in the power play, 10 and over almost, going in the power play, the teams will miserably fail this year. I don't think a coach, an IPL coach or international coach would expect that should happen in every game, right? They could have players who could potentially give you 60 runs in the power play, almost scoring 10, 11 runs in an over, possible, right? But the game is also evolving. Every time you see T10 is happening now, the shortest format of the game, we see scores of 125. It's become very ordinary in T10 right now to score 125, 130 runs in 10 overs. That takes you to the team total of, say, a match total of about 250, 260 on an average, right? So it is evident that the game is evolving. But the coach's mindset or the player's mindset when they go on there need not be the same, right? If they get it, so be it. But that is not their approach. That's not how they front it and say, look, I need my team, this power play combination to give me top three to give me 60, 75 runs on the power play. There's no way that will happen. If that happens, I'll be surprised again, and probably my analysis, my thinking would have probably been proven wrong. So, the reason I'm saying this is Krishna and Vanil. Look at how every other competition is happening now, whether it's 100, whether it's PSL, CPL. Why, if IPL is producing such pitches where it's absolutely flat, and even PSL is the same. I mean, it's
Yeah.
they score as many runs there. In fact, the boundaries are shorter in PSL
Yeah.
from what I know, and the CPL is the same, right? If they cannot replicate this, what's happening in the IPL in other leagues, then it's not going to happen every other day,
Mm.
even in the IPL.
So with this high scoring, also realize that the middle order is very important when it comes to taking the team to a certain total. Like in the next 3 overs, if you score a 40 odd, you suddenly reach a score which is 240 and not 210 or 220. Now they obviously have Andre Russell who can do that for them. The player that I'm most interested in is how they're going to use Ramandeep Singh, because we saw and on Ramandeep's debut how Ramandeep managed to sort of smack it out of the park completely on his first match. How do you think they're going to, because they've retained him, so they're surely going to play him. So, what do you think about Ramandeep and his role in this entire KKR setup?
No, to answer your questions, I mean, there are two halves to this question. So, how KKR set up their squad, their team, their retentions, basically, and to the middle order, the question of your middle order batters. If the top order doesn't score for any reason, if they start going, at 12, 10, 12 and over, and then they lose their wickets in the power play, there is a very telling stat. 92% of the game times a game is lost when a team batting will loses 3 wickets in the power play, or 4 or 3 plus wickets, right? Especially in a chasing cause.
Yeah.
So if they have this as an approach, and then they lose their wickets, they should have a formidable attack like what they have for KKR right now.
Mm.
Russell, Ramandeep, Rinku Singh, right? And Venkatesh Iyer coming at
Yes.
4 or 5,
For
and having a strike rate of say 145 plus, being a left-hander, tall left-hander who has a long lever, can clear the long ball. For me, I think that is the kind of player that we will have, KKR has today, who can carry the team till 20 overs, alongside the giants. I mean, the power hitters like
Mm.
Ramandeep Singh. Ramandeep Singh, that's the kind of belief and confidence that they have given on this guy, and how he has fared for this franchise. I think Ramandeep has been in the IPL for a couple of other franchises in the past. I think Mumbai Indians, right,
Yes.
where he was not given opportunities to play there, but he was in the bench. Obviously, here he got an opportunity. He evolved as a player, and then he comes and scores here for them, shows the faith that they put on him. And today he's gone on to play for India, the very first ball in it for international cricket for someone like him to go and play, play that shot.
Mm.
I mean, it speaks again the kind of effort that he's put in himself, right? To be
And he's
He's also
also
been bowling as well, sir, in the Syed Mushtaq Ali for
yeah.
Kolkata.
right,
So,
and he's also, I think, he's also said in one of the interviews, I don't know if he's just trying to impress Russell, but he said, I always idolized Andre Russell,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then to be what I am, like him as an Indian player, the franchise is gifted, right? The franchise is now feeling that okay, I have a like to like replacement of Russell in the Indian bench for me. So I think that is the kind of confidence that a player needs around to perform, and the coaches now sit back and just watch, all that gimmicks that happens in the field now, right?
Yeah.
They will have to sit back and enjoy this every bit, because all 3 batters, if they don't get to bat, they all will be hungry to go and perform at some stage of the in the tournament, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the kind of hunger that everybody looks for. That is the kind of opportunities that one waits for in this IPL. One IPL
And
game takes you to heights, man.
yeah. And Ramandeep Singh is also an outstanding fielder. I remember he took a catch
Oh,
in the Emerging
emerging.
Cup against Pakistan, and it changed the entire match. And that catch I still cannot forget.
Sorry, I actually missed pointing out one thing here. This KKR team, as is an average of about 29 years of age, right? keep out Russell and Sunil Narayan, but they are also very good fielders, right? The
Yes.
exceptional fielding team, right from Quinton de Kock, Narayan, Jinx. You talk about Venkatesh Iyer, Angkrish Raghuvanshi, Rinku Singh,
Yeah.
then Ramandeep Singh. You see, Andrik Nokia. Uh, I mean, Varun Chakravarti with his injuries, he was struggling, but he's also, showed how hard he comes back, into the international circuit. Now, the recent most series, he has dived off, all the sides, and he's probably, thrown himself up on the field there. I mean, the good thing is he looks super fit now. He looks charged. And to see 13, 14 good fielders in a squad, I think it's phenomenal. So I think KKR has probably, done a done their homework right.
At
Yeah.
the back end of the auction, sir, they picked up Ajinkya Rahane, and who's already in his fag end of the career. And we recently saw, in fact, him making a 50 as well, in the second Mushtaq Ali trophy. So how do you think that they're going to sort of use his expertise now coming in? Obviously, he's not that kind of a player who sort of gives you that kind of a strike rate, where you are able to sort of get to a score of 240, 250. But how do you think that panning out, sir?
Just one thing, one suggestion here. Just take your mind off completely of these high scores, when we talk in for any other team. The reason is 240, 250 is not going to happen every day, even by the best of best teams. You put your Brendan McCullum, Gilchrist, and everybody in the side, you will still not get that every day, right? It is a one-off thing, and if every day somebody can score 200, that was probably a one-off thing, and it has never happened in the history of cricket again, right? For any franchise. So for me, to simply answer your question there, I think this particular team need somebody like Ajinkya Rahane, because Ajinkya Rahane doesn't get old, and he gets better as he gets older as well. So for me, the way I saw him 4 5 years back in the Delhi Capitals and to what he is today, he hasn't changed a bit. He's super fit. He still does his running around in the teams. He is very much part of the Ranji team, and then he does all his fitness works. He's gone on to the English county circuit, and he's played there. He comes back and captains this side in Mumbai again, T20 side, your one dayers, and he's played the Irani and Dulip. I
Yeah.
think I think there's no way you can take off Rahane and cricket. It's in his DNA. I think he's the best candidate for me. Yes, he came in the accelerated round. He was unsold initially, and then he comes back and gets picked. I think probably people waited for that because you do not want to fix up your slot up top there in the auction and then not know whom you're getting. Suppose you don't get a player, that's when, just because you pick somebody in the accelerated round, that doesn't mean that the player is bad.
Right.
Mm.
The perception of picking an accelerated the player in the accelerated round is only because you think you will get some player as you planned, and your plan does not go well on that particular given day. And then that player drops down later, and then we as a franchise, what we can do is to write and give them, saying that I am looking at these players, and I'm not going to give exactly the same name as I'm going to take in the auction, right? I will
Mm.
have five other names attached with it, and then I will give it to them. They will then call out all those names, and then I take what I want. So there could also be a bidding war. That's how what happened for Riley Rosso last year, right?
Yeah.
Could you have imagined that Riley Rosso in an accelerated round would have gone for a 8 crore? I mean, let's be honest. Nobody would have even imagined, since it was
Mm.
a um, smaller auction. People felt that he will go for that. He is worth, and then there was a bidding war on him. Even if he was a 2 crore base price, and for him to be have gone for 8 crores, people would have had the budget, and then they went for him, right? So
Right.
similarly,
Mm.
is somebody who felt, I mean, CSK, if they had felt that they did not get the top order right, they could have gone for him as well, right? So I mean, in the mega auction, this is what happens. People exhausted their budgets, and the Sunrisers, I remember, in the second day, just after the second round itself, even before the accelerated round started, they had only 5 crores in their hand.
Yeah.
Right.
So, if I had to come to sort of KKR's bowling now, they obviously have Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narine as someone who's going to take them through the middle phase. Now, my worry is, or not my worry, but when you enter, when you have a player like Vaibhav Arora who does a lot of swing both in and out. So in the first few overs, Vaibhav Arora's swing is going to be very crucial. But who do you ask to bowl from the other end? Do you ask a left-handed bowler because you had Stark first and now you also want someone with a left hand, or do you use the pace of Andrik Nokia with the new ball?
No, the last year is gone by. There's no point in discussing about whom you had last year. That's again gone glory. But this year, what we can think of is how they have set up this squad. And look at Spencer Johnson slash Hendrik Nokia. For all we know, I think some players at the highest level have the tendency to make a strong comeback as well. So let's give it to Hendrik Nokia because I think he's had as
Yeah, back
uh,
stress.
probably 18-20 months of his career. Even then, he was amongst the wickets. Probably he has weak
Hmm.
runs, but if you see how he comes back, I mean, he his body has taken its toll, and obviously, he's had stress fractures and he's come off of major injury. Coming back of an injury, I think, for any fast bowler, for any athlete, is not going to be an easy task. So for him to
Yeah,
put that effort to even come back and even get sold, I mean, let's remember he was not sold at base price. It means somebody was
yeah,
fighting for him
yeah,
again,
correct.
right?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was in demand, and people
yeah.
know that he's again working, putting his hard yards to come back. So I think I will give that benefit of doubt to that player to see how he will come back strongly into
Hmm.
the side. So if he comes back, they will have these two fast bowlers, Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Arora, with an overseas fast bowler. It could be Hendrik Nokia slash Spencer Johnson, or it could be both with Sunil Narine, Andre Russell, and the other two foreign fast bowlers and go Indian openers.
And sir, when you look at the spin bowling department, obviously you've got the best of the lot when it says Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan. But the two intriguing names are going to be one is Mayank Markande, who was in SRH last year, and he happened to play about, let's say, half the games that SRH played during the league stage, at around, I think, 7 games that he played, and he picked up some crucial wickets in the middle phase as well. And then probably a replacement like that you were looking for Suyash Sharma, and then you have Anukul Roy as well, I think, who got a few games here and there for KKR. So these are also pretty interesting picks as far as KKR is concerned.
Right. Letting go of Shreya Sharma again. It was just on the auction. That's how the auction works. So losing out Shreya Sharma, who was part of their core, and when Varun Chakravarti, Sunil Narayan both were playing in the team, even Suyash was brought in as an impact player to bowl in certain stages of the game. So for me, that is the replicating that success here could be slightly difficult, but Mayank Markande, yeah, give all the credit to him to what he has done over number of years to be in the IPL circuit, and he's a very very deceiving bowler. He can pick wickets in the middle overs. More importantly, I think I remember I think a couple of years back when he played. He didn't play as many games, but whenever he came in, he bowled maximum number of dot balls. Right? He has bowled 78% or something googlies that season. I think that was his second season, if I'm not wrong, or maybe first. I'm not sure. But again, I'll have to brush through my memories and stats. Looking at that, I know that he's not lost his skill. Once you possess a skill, as a bowler, as a player, you don't lose it. You'll have
Right.
to keep sharpening it, right? So I think from that perspective, if you look at, I think Mayank Markande is a definite yes for this team as a backup. Now, any given day, if and there's a slow turner, right? Then you might still have Sunil Narayan, Varun Chakravarti, and use Mayank Markande as an impact player if need be. He's a quality player and he's a good fielder.
Sir, I'm just trying to understand. This year, KKR has taken quite a few all-rounders, about 7 all-rounders this time,
Right, right.
compared to the other years. Do you think this could also be because the impact player rule is now
Hmm.
playing a major part in terms of doing auctions? Because
Necessarily, necessarily you'll have to look at that. I mean, every other team does that. Look at
yeah,
SRH, how many all-rounders they have. I mean, it's,
yeah,
it's mind-blowing.
yeah,
The same thing with RCB as well.
mm,
I think 8, 9 players they have got as all-rounders there.
yeah, correct,
So
correct.
I mean, that's how every team is set up this year.
Because maybe you want, let's say you have Raman Powell. Now, Raman Powell can be a batting all-rounder also. He can be a bowling all-rounder also. You could get him in
I
the
mean, I
team.
wish Roman Powell really bowls. I have not seen him bowl anywhere, but I mean, he can bowl. What he
Yeah.
can do, I know that. But the thing is, I have not seen him do that consistently,
Mm,
continuously
mm,
for so long now. So for
mm,
me, Roman Powell, if he comes in, just gives you that batting performance that we expect of him, is good enough. You don't expect his bowling to be there because I have seen him from close quarters. I'm not. Look, I know I love this guy. I was very much part of the team with Delhi, sitting on the table, fighting for getting Rahman Powell into the side, trying to convince the ownership group and the scout group there with us on the table. I know what it takes to have someone like Rahman Powell in the side. Is a fantastic human being. uh, to have someone like him in the squad itself is a blessing.
yeah,
For us to be able to extract what we can get best out of him in the batting, in his primary skill, that is all I will focus on.
yeah,
Focusing too much into what we can get out of his batting. I mean, we all know that he's probably in the top of the list in the fielding as well, right?
yeah,
So I don't think we expect too much of a player. They all call themselves as all rounders today, but look at the primary skill. Focus on that. Get your
yeah,
playing
yeah.
11. Get your impact player who can really be that X factor in that particular game, given the conditions, given the situation of the game, and the opposition.
Mm,
One of the last
right.
picks in the auction was also Manish Pandey. What do you think now KKR is going to expect from him, considering now that they've picked him?
Like I said to you, Manish Pandey again, comes back into the setup where he belonged to earlier. So
Yeah,
for him to come back to his own dressing room, it will feel like his home now. When he comes back, when he walks into this dressing room and be part of the as a from the same defending champions team, but he was there last year as well, I think. So for
yes.
him to be part of this championship team and the kind of championship qualities that he brings along, and he's had a massive success as a Ranji captain in Karnataka as well, especially in the T20 format. The kind of knowledge that he has on the game, and I've worked very closely with him in Delhi Capitals as well, where he a very very silent person, very nice human
Yeah,
being,
yeah.
understands the game in and out, and talks less and performs and delivers more on the field. I think from what it looks like, the team, a calm dressing room is a champion dressing room to me, right? The way you keep yourself calm in situations and how you go about your business, give that confidence in silence to that vibration spreads around your team, right? As a
Mm,
coach, we all know that Chandrakant Pandit also is a very quiet man. When it comes to, he's not very animated from what I've seen, like the other coaches. He might be vocal, he might be whatever, right? We think that we see or hear, but I think a calm dressing room to me is very important, and this KKR team today has that calmness. Uh, I'm sure we are yeah, we are going to see some surprises during the season in terms of the
yeah.
performances.
Just one last question. A lot of teams play a lot of emphasis on winning at home. Like there are these two big facets. Like you win at home with a different kind of a strategy. You win away with a different kind of strategy. So this for all teams. How do you like? How much importance do they play on winning at home? Like home
Uh,
advantage.
14 IPL games for a season in the league stage. I think everybody wants to win all 14 games on any given day. home advantage uh, is just an excuse, right? But
Okay.
having said that, I mean, I remember in one season where Mumbai lost a few games in trot, in, and then they went on to win 4 or 5 games away.
Mm,
And then they qualify that year to qualify too, and then they come to the final and they win the final. So for
mm,
me, that's I mean that's a factor to be considered because the home advantage brings in a lot of fan following to as a support. And
mm,
then it also means that okay, you can now play around with your pitches, your playing 11 to suit your advantage based on your squad and team. Uh, there ends it. I mean, it has a slight advantage to the opposition. That's it. But really and truly, a home advantage, if you do not know how to use, what to use, what has to be done on that particular day,
mm,
and your performance also goes down for various
mm.
reasons, I don't think it will be an advantage anymore. So like I said, it adds that 1% extra value, but I don't give too much importance or weightage to that.
Okay. Right.
So, all in all, sir, if you were to, sort of give them a rating out of 10, KKR, and how they went about the auction, what would you say?
The most toughest thing to do is to read somebody's mind. It is not going to be easy because, look, everybody is different and everybody thinks differently. An answer that I will be thinking, I don't want to be diplomatic, but I want to tell you something very honestly. Rating somebody's squad will look like, we are judging someone. It doesn't.
Mm,
I mean, every other YouTube channel you see here, or every other video that we see of some experts talking about, I rate this person, I rate that person, I have Delhi Capitals as number one on the paper. Look, it's all about, it all matters when you actually go and perform on the field on that in that season. On any given day, that's what matters. I mean, today I can say KKR has 8 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 or 5 out of 10, but on that particular
on
day,
that
if they
day,
go
yeah.
and win, then I look stupid. So I will still say, they have done a fairly good work in terms of setting up their squad. Without giving numbers, I would say they are uh, probably not exceptional, but they were very good in their auction. They
Mm,
have a trick or two that they missed out, which I said in the initial conversation of mine here. Like I said, having a couple of young fast bowlers, Indian, they should have had one Indian fast bowler backup, or sorry, in the playing 11, and have one of these fast bowlers as a backup because they're setting up for the future. If one
Right.
gets
mm,
hit, you need to have someone experienced to come back and talk, and even somebody who could talk to them, who could mentor them and
mm,
be in the
mm.
sidelines. So because only the players knows how to sit back and talk to the players and groom them, and that's
Right.
why Bhuvneshwar Kumar was so much important for this franchise.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
But
a
at this point in
very
time,
good work,
on
very good
paper,
work
looks
by
like,
KKR.
yeah, I
Sorry.
mean, or looks like on paper at this point in time, at least a team to beat.
Oh, definitely. I will say they're in the top four for me already
Mm,
in the IPL 2025 season.
Right. Right. So that's pretty much it, as far as KKR is concerned, guys, and that's pretty much it, as far as this episode is concerned. What we'll be doing is that, episode by episode, we'll be covering teams, and we'll be doing that exercise with Sir. So once again, thank you so much for your time today, and just hope to continue this series, and until we cover all the IPL teams, and of course a little bit on BGT as well. Whenever the game starts, I think it's on the 6th when BGT starts. So we'll cover that a bit as well.
For
Along.
sure.
Thank you so much, guys. Like, share, and subscribe as usually do, and thank you so much for the love. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.